sailing, they're black on the water.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jet Black. We right here live, the Must Be Heard radio show. We've been waiting for today to begin. It's gonna be a great show. Got a lot. Got a great guest lined up for you. Got some good music on the way. Also, but before we get into anything, I always like to get my scripture of the day because you gotta start the day off right. So this one's coming from Psalms 10:12. Says, "Arise, Lord, lift up your hand, O God. Do not forget the helpless." Now, this one, my pastor talks about tithing, and there's different ways to tithe, right? Not just the 10% that you give to the church, but also there's also your tithe to like giving to the poor and different things like that. And one thing that people do a lot of is forget about the people who are less fortunate, who don't have things, and it can be it can feel like you giving something to somebody, like you just got to be led. True enough, but don't forget to take care of the people who are less fortunate, who don't have, because they need things. They need clothes, they need socks and different things like that. And I recall my wife Michelle, who is the queen of Must Be Heard Radio, talking about a man that she met when she was in Omaha. He was homeless, and said he went from having everything to having nothing. And he said that she asked him if he could tell anybody anything, what would he say? And he said, he took for granted everything that he was given, all the things that he had, and now all he's more concerned about is a clean pair of socks. So just know that at any point in time, any of us could be in a situation where we can't control things. So do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Take care of people and your neighbor, and anything that you can do to help somebody else, even if it's a bottle of water here and there for one of your coworkers. Y'all get paid the same thing, but for some reason they struggle to pay bills. So anything that you can do to reach out to help the next person, by all means. All right, so let's get into some music, because I got a guest today. If you've seen the advertisements and all this week, you by now know who it is. But before we get into that interview, I'm gonna start the day off hot. I got a new release from an artist named D-Rock. After this, we'll bring our guest in, so stay tuned. You listening to the Must Be Heard radio show.
We came from the dirt. Sign them trenches, we came from the dirt. Yeah. Sign them trenches, we came from the dirt. Place little homies, end up on a shirt. Come with that beast, but they slanging that work. That living water, homie, quenching your thirst. Yeah. He 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 quenching your thirst. We bring them to land, but they think that it go. They treading that water, bro, barely afloat. They clutching that fire, but they don't want no smoke. When the king coming back, bro, that's all that she wrote. Yeah, that's all that she wrote. The goons, they be lurking with beans on the scope. The storm coming through, homie, hop in the boat. He come for the broken, we bringing that hope. Yeah, we bringing that hope for the ones in the street. The ones that be ducking and dodging police. Sell a base of some dope just to have something to eat. They don't know no better, we all pay a fee. The base of the dealer, we all just gon' see. It's all fun and games till you copping a plea. In front of the judge in that judgment seat. Aye. Slide them trenches, we came from the dirt. Place little homies, end up on a shirt. Come with that piece, but they slanging that work. That living water, homie, quenching your thirst. Yeah, he 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 quenching your thirst. That living water, homie, fill you on up. Come get a taste, man, we posting the cut. We walking by faith, yeah, his name lifted up. When that head hit the water, new man coming up. Yeah, hey, when that head hit the water, new man coming up. Yeah. When they hit the water, new man coming up. No longer live by the law, we live by the spirit. I'm hoping they hear it. Was on the block, just a youngin' was thuggin'. Pray to God didn't think that he'd hear it. I'm a witness, been gifted by freedom from sin. I fell on my face, but I'm back up again. I came with a message, a blessing to tell all my brothers that the king coming back up again. Yeah. And every knee gon' bow, every tongue confess. Yeah. Hey. That Jesus Christ is king, bro, this ain't no chess. Nah. Said we coming for the ops, but it ain't no flesh. Ooh. We roll with the spirit when you ride with the king. Yeah, them demons, they fear it. Sliding them trenches, we came from the dirt. Place with our homies, end up on a shirt. Come with that beast, but they slanging that work. They living water, homie, quenching your thirst. Yeah, he 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 quenching your thirst. Yeah, sliding them trenches, it came from the dirt. Yeah, we come with that beast, but they slanging that work. Yeah, living water, homie, quenching your thirst. Yeah. Living water, homie, quenching your thirst. Yeah.
All right. We back. That was D-Rock and his new release called Thirst. All right, hope y'all ready because we finna get right into business. I know, I be bugging out sometimes, man. So let's get into it. This is, I want to introduce to some, present to some, introduce to other ones who may not know. Our guest for the day, DJ Lostnfound. How you doing, man?
I'm chilling. What's goody, bro?
Man, I can't call it, big guy. Can't call it. I'm glad to have you on the show, bro.
Hey, man, glad to be here. Anytime I can do an interview, I'm always down. I love this stuff.
Man, look, it's definitely a blessing to an honor for me also. You know, I've been seeing, I see your emails, been seeing them for a while. Man, killer marketing strategy, and all of this, which we gonna get into. But first, before we get down into that, man, just, introduce yourself to everybody. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, DJ Lostnfound. I'm a follower of Christ, husband, a father, and brother to many. I do a lot of things within CHH, Christian DJ, even though I don't really DJ as much anymore. I'm a curator, so I, make playlists and stuff like that, and kind of try to point people to where music is hot. They're also like an executive producer where I create music. So some people may know me from there where, I'm putting out singles, working with different artists, putting a production together. And like you said, the marketing and all that for the album or song release. And then also just I'm a independent A&R. So what an A&R is somebody who works with artists to try to help them grow. So I'll work with an artist and try to help them put together an album or like a mixtape or something like that. In that way, I'm able to use my skills or giftings, for artists who may need some like management aspect to them. Because not everybody is great at like putting stuff together. Some are just great at just making the music and that's it. Yeah. Where I might be like, all right, let me step in and do the track listing or something for you. So yeah, it's a little bit about what I do. And we'll learn more today.
Awesome. So it's got to be what does it take for a person? I heard you say you went kind of away from DJing and more into like curating projects. I've been a part of a compilation once before with One Nation Under God. So you heard of them?
No, I don't think so.
The founder's name is Brian Irby. Man, now when I say a label or a company is busy, bro, they busy. Like, okay. They'll send 20 emails in a day with all the artists that they support. But how does one go from like DJing events to being able to curate multiple projects? Cause you have like what, two or three?
Two albums, yeah. I'm working on the third, yeah. So for me, I think God gifts us with certain abilities, and what it takes to DJ really is just a servant's heart, right? And the same thing, curating. You're literally serving people, And I think that's the first thing that happens because, for a DJ, you don't get much in return, right? You might not get artist interviews, you may not get a thank you when you play music from artists, right? So I know all about that. Um, but then on the curating side, you need to have that same heart because you're dealing with, and especially me, I'm like my last album, I had 50 artists on there.
Ooh.
So you're dealing with a lot of artists, a lot of personalities, a lot of different motives. You know what I mean? So having that servant's heart is first and foremost, I think, more important than even skills, right? And then, after that, then you move into like the management aspect. You got to be able to manage people, manage projects, manage time, manage finances. Um, so, there's a lot that goes into the curation because you're literally kind of like what you're talking about with that label. You're literally like a label unto yourself. The only thing that I'm not doing is the actual performances. So I'm not doing the singing. I'm not doing the rapping. I don't do production anymore. But everything else on the back end, it's all me.
And you said a mouthful full when you said
Yeah.
personalities and different different
Motives, right?
Yeah, different motives and agendas. So knowing that, how do you make your selections for like artists that are going to be on like on a project that you're working on?
Yeah, for me, it starts with musical fit. Um, and a lot of people that I work with, I don't go in knowing them, right? And then sometimes you'll form, relationships afterwards. I know some people like to only work with people that they have a relationship with. For me, I feel like that's it's not impossible, but I would have turned down so many people that I have met and that have been, great to work with if I only did it that way. So, yeah, I choose to go by musical fit. If I feel like somebody is a fit for a particular song, they have a particular sound, they have a particular style that I'm looking for, I'll reach out to that person. Um, More often than not, it is a great interaction. More often than not, sometimes you get those things where maybe it's wires get crossed and maybe it's a misunderstanding. Either way, it could go either way. But yeah, usually it starts with that fit, man. If I got the fit, most people are stand up and have a great personality and understand the vision. But yeah, once you get that fit, then I move on to the reaching out, man.
Yeah. In a world that is, I think when I was a kid, I'm born and raised in the '90s. Okay. So, well, I was born in the '80s, raised in the '90s. So in that era of when Christian hip hop first really began, what made you want to be a DJ more than another artist?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely had no idea that I'd be curating. Had no interest in it whatsoever. But the same thing kind of happened when I was a DJ, right? Uh, I started DJing when I was 30, 36 now, but I started DJing when I was 30. And the reason was because I wanted to serve my local church body. Um, I respected DJs and what they did, but I had no interest in actually DJing. You know what I mean? So, my local church, we would bring in these secular DJs when they were like, we would have like pastor's 30th, year anniversary or something like that. And they'd mess up the party. You know what I mean? They playing Tatiana or they playing something that's crazy wild, and then they wondering why Christians getting off the dance floor.
Jeez.
So it started off, I just wanted to be a local DJ for Christians and for believers and just go out and I wanted Christians to have a good time, but then not have to worry about grieving the Holy Spirit in the same time. You know what I mean? So that's where it started from. But then actually breaking into CHH, I started doing radio. Then I started doing just this weekly article with the new H2O, which was like a sister company to Rapzilla. And those are the things that kind of like brought me into this space on the contributing side and not just being a fan anymore. So and then from working at the New H2O, and you're literally, I would do basically this article where I would find the top 10 indie songs of the week, post about it, and it would be an encouragement to artists. Um, and from that, that's where it birthed the idea of curating. Because I just wanted to be an encouragement to artists who felt like they weren't being heard, they weren't being seen. And we have so many artists out here. We have thousands of artists,
Yeah.
Who are in CHH and that never get posted. They never get, seen by a large community and group of people. So I just want to be someone who says, hey, check this person out. You know what I mean? That they're dope, and be an encouragement to indie artists out there, you know what I mean, all over.
When it comes to that right there, now that's the heart behind what we do here at Must Be Heard Radio also. Because there are so many artists in the world, so many so many independent ones, and I noticed that a lot of independent artists are I don't want to say yes I do. I want to say a lot of them are better than like some of the mainstream ones, but
I agree.
Money makes you sound better, and renown makes you sound better. So I just now noticed that my video feed is frozen, but the audio is still working, so I'm not gonna mess with it.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
But when it comes to like production quality and different things like that, artists need a good solid foundation as it comes to good production quality. And so having a curator, having somebody who can say, okay, look, I got all this music right here, I feel like you'd be a good fit for this particular song. That right there is special within itself, because then it kind of gives the artist an opportunity to really showcase, and then you being the person who has the ear to know, what works best for this particular artist and their particular style. So man, we appreciate people like you because it's needed. People like you are needed. Especially in the community of CHH.
Absolutely. And then there are more curators out here. I just, I do feel like there are only a few that actually get mentioned. But there's curators out here, man. You've got God's House Radio, who curates music. I'm trying to think off the top of my head now. Of course, I'm gonna forget everybody. But there's a number of us out here, and I do think that maybe God is using myself or like a DJ Michael V to kind of spearhead the way. But yeah, there's a lot of quality and great people out here who know how to do what I do.
Yeah.
They just don't get covered. Just like the indie artists, for some reason they don't. You see that they don't get covered. I don't get it. I don't get it, but it might be like you said, it might be the money thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, hold on, we gonna come back to that conversation in just a minute, because that right there. Now we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about this track, Pressure, with Kid Triss, Temple Dior, and 350.
Yeah. Pressure was actually the first. It's off my latest album, Caesar 2. It is the first track, I believe, that was actually done. And it might sound a little bit different from the rest of the album, I would say, only because it was a part of a different direction that I was going. But then I completely changed the sound of the album up. So Pressure was one where I wanted to work with 350. I'm a big fan of 350 and what he brings to the culture sound wise. Kid Triss is somebody who really grew on me, and I think he's supremely underrated out there. And Temple is another one where I think he's in Orlando, but he is another one, man. You don't hear his name, but the dude stood bar for bar with 350. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just another example of, yeah, we got a lot of different levels of creativity out here, and a lot of people out here who should be getting, like I said, should be getting more play, and don't. And I'm grateful that Pressure is actually one of the songs that Michael V picked it up and put on his playlist. So more people got, introduced to Temple Dior. And hopefully, Kid Tris, yeah, I feel like he had his time where he was being covered, you know what I mean? But now you don't see that.
Yeah.
And I feel like now he's putting out the best music that he's put out, but for some reason he doesn't get covered, you know?
All right, so let's dive right into that. This is Pressure, hosted by DJ Lostnfound, featuring Kid Tris, Temple Dior, and 350.
Yeah, hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Before you go say something different, you say it could just be your last. This ain't no regular one, straight from the jungle. My life a movie, work hard for this role. Don't ask for hang-ups. You gotta be kidding me, setting the record straight. You out of control. You out of control. Setting the record straight. You out of control. You out of control. You out of control.
Fast car, sliding on him like a NASCAR. Took him to the future, mask off. If you rollin' with his last call. Skirt when we hop in the stain. We start the drama when we start switching lanes. They concerned how we changing the game. Out of your league, yeah, we don't buy the same. Hop in the coupe, demon gon' smoke with a tool. Double-edged sword is the truth. Came with the crew. They said Lil' Temple get loose. They wanna sip on the juice. They don't want smoke, can't handle the pressure alone. I really just wanna know, what is a man? Profit to gain the whole world while he out, he just losing his soul. I guess nothing really. On the line, they said they get right with me. Trying to bring the truth into your city. On my own, looking dapper, yeah, the boy really looking spiffy. Demon stalker, angels getting jiggy. I been like too cold. Pressure, but the diamond smooth flow. Lose everything you do, no. 5-4 in fast mode.
Where we done came up, it's all a lesson. Mission need weapons, it's how young and stepping. You gotta watch out before you go say something different. You say it could just be your last. This ain't no regular one, straight from the jungle. My life a movie, work hard for this role. Don't ask for hang-ups. You gotta be kidding me, setting the record straight. You out of control. Setting the record straight. You out of control. You out of control.
Yeah, had to put him on my back. Top flow, didn't know how to react. Eyes looking no matter where we was at. Going forward, I never had to relax. People told me I had to go and do big things. On the ground, make a plan for my big dream. Any less, anything, and then I'm missing. Wanna do if I can't sing, yeah. Hold up, that's on my mind. Problems been one of a kind. Tryna kill stress to unwind. Only thing failing is time, yeah. Don't got enough of it, losing my loved ones to illness and products of crime. So much to taking one life, yeah. Too much to say in a rhyme. Being in the mirror, making things that ain't growing. Dealing with disorders that I felt like ain't going. Grandma told me stand up, man up. Fighting with a fan, I make nothing till God keep glowing. I got a blast off, take a chance off, making moments that last off. I just been doing my best, keep on believing I'm blessed.
It's all a lesson. Mission need weapons, it's how young and stepping. You gotta watch out before you go say something different. You say it could just be your last. This ain't no regular one, straight from the jungle. My life a movie, work hard for this role. Don't ask for hang-ups. You gotta be kidding me, setting the record straight. You out of control. You out of control.
Technology. Yeah, man. It's all good. We still hear you though. It's all good. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yep. Yeah, it should be. Kid Triss is first. He's on the hook. Temple Dior first verse and 350 second verse. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah. No, so I will bounce it out to another engineer. I always feel like it's better for one, uh, I'm a live engineer also, and I forgot to explain that as well. So I do live engineering for my church, but as far as like working with a DAW, I've never figured out how to work with a DAW. So I bounce it out to other engineers. Um, and that way, I still speak the language. I can understand what they're talking about. Um, but I entrust somebody who knows way better than me. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking about going to classes. You know what I mean? So that I can learn how to at least master. I think that would be a great input because you sometimes my ear what I think I want, right, it's kind of actually it's hard to replicate it with somebody else, right? And have somebody else do it. Um, so sometimes it's just easier, man, to just handle it yourself. But yeah, so I utilize other engineers who I can easily say know more than me in that area. Right, right, so I utilize a couple different engineers. So I've just started working with Kardec. And really for me, I choose an engineer based upon because every engineer has their own style, right? So I kind of utilize different engineers for different songs. I don't really just have one guy. But Kardec is the guy who I'm working with now. DJ LC is the guy who I've worked with on this album. Plus 48 is the guy I with on this album, and probably the longest. He did my entire first album. And then View Beats is a guy who I'm starting to work with right now. I'm trying to think, is there anybody else? I think those are the primary four right now. Um, International Show. International Show is another one. He did one of the songs on this album as well. So some talent out there, yeah. It's expensive too. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah, right.
Thank you, Gina. Uh,
I'm still here. Okay.
It's not. It was frozen, but I'm working at it as we going along. Okay. All right. So, as it comes to where was I at? I got lost.
Streaming versus the old ways.
Streaming versus traditional sales. How do you profitize being curator, having to spend so much on engineering and production work, and then and collecting the artist? How do you make money, if you will? I hate to use that.
Yeah. So there's different ways. Merch is a good way to make money. If you have merch, and then also, I'm not in a place where I'm some type of expert on these things. I'm still trying to figure it out as well. But the streams, obviously, you make money from that. You make money from, different types of royalties, so like radio. And then also, because of how I do my royalties, I don't really take any royalties from the performance end. So the artists make that half of the money. You know what I mean? Because I only feel it's only right since it is their performance, right?
Yeah.
And then, on the ownership aspect is where I make most of my money. So depending on the platform, depending on, how the royalties split out, royalties from radio, royalties from like YouTube streams, stuff like that. And then royalties also from, I'm gonna say like internet radio, stuff like that. So all of those things kind of add together to where it can become profitable. And for a long time, it wasn't, man. For first, I want to say probably 3 years, I was like, man, what am I doing? Because I'm spending all this money, but there ain't nothing coming back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then this last year, the music actually became profitable. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm figuring out, my method of how to do things, and I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm still learning. Still trying to figure out how, because merch is a big one. I can't perform. That's where a lot of people make their money as well. Like, it's going to be kind of weird me going up there doing, lip singing to my own songs. You know what I mean? So that's a hard one as well for me to do, is like, is performance. It'll probably actually cost me more because I'd have to pay the artist to come out.
Yeah.
So, I'm still trying to figure that out. It's it is making money, but at the same time, I'm still trying to figure it out. Yeah.
I got you. Speaking of merch, so in case anybody doesn't know, I was gonna wait to announce this, but so Must Be Heard Radio we have our own merch line also.
Yeah.
I tried to be catchy with the website and all that kind of stuff, because you want to draw people's attention. So the website is mustbemerch.com. Super simple. It's not really hard to find. As a matter of fact, the whole Must Be brand is pretty much us. So, we got Must Be Merch, Must Be Seen, Must Be Heard Entertainment, all these different things. But I'm working on, I'm going to put the post up later on today. There's a new product that we're putting out today, for pre-order. And it's called Infinite Grace. I'm not even gonna show the logo. I'm just gonna wait until I post it later on. So if you're not subscribed, if you're not locked into to our Facebook page, definitely subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. All of the above. Same goes with YouTube, because it's gonna be released pretty much everywhere, all at one time. So there are things to work out in the background when it comes to merch. That over half of the people who don't really know about it, or don't know what it's like to have a merch line and all these things, don't know everything that goes into the background of getting merch from the distributor to website, or if you do it yourself, from your house to the internet to somebody else's house. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. Even when it comes to like copyrights and all these different things, all the waiting game is like
Yeah. I waited. Actually, had to wait what uh, a year and a half for my name to clear copyright.
Wow.
Somebody else had it already, and they let it expire.
Mm.
But I had to wait that entire time. So
Man, it took us the ones that we have out right now. It took us a little while to get those. I think there are eight total logos that I submitted, and it took them about 3 months to get back. And I kept going back and checking because they give you the whole 7 to 10 business days. You process your money and then they take their time getting to it. But I can only imagine how many people in the world are probably submitting copyrights for other stuff all at the same time. So I'd imagine that their workload is probably ridiculous. So
yeah.
so do you mentioned merch? Do you drop ship, or how do you do your merch?
So yeah, I'm super new at that too. I guess so. Drop shipping is when you do it through the third party, right?
Correct.
Company.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's how I'm doing it. Yeah.
Okay. You create the work. They
Right.
automatically they give a soft copyright, which is intellectual property. But or intellectual, what is it? Intellectual works or something like that. So they give you a soft copyright. And then you can go back and copyright your logos and stuff on your own. That way, nobody else can plagiarize it or even get close to it.
Right.
Gina in chat asked, so how long have you been doing this particular this type of curating projects and working with artists and all of the above?
Yeah. Curating, I've been doing it. I started in 2020. So right during the pandemic is when I started my first album. Released my first song in May 2020. So coming up on 3 years now in that capacity. But I've been in music since I was 15. Started off as a music producer at 15, and got to the point where I was like a step away from the industry. Like I almost got a song with what's the record label now? Slip and Slide Records. So if people don't know, that's Rick Ross's first label, right? So I almost landed a track with them, with one of their artists. But at the same time, I wasn't doing Christian music at all at the time. I was backslidden, and I really do believe that God allowed me to come into some hardships, and where I had 11 years to where I was not doing music at all. But during that time, I refocused my attention, on serving the church and on restoring my relationship with Christ. So, those things became more important. But before that, yeah, I was trying to get into the industry, trying to be like Kanye, like everybody else out here. And, I had my friends around me. I had somebody who actually did work with Kanye. You got people who's getting placements with like Cartoon Network back in like 2010 before we even know what sync placements are.
Oof.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's common now, but back then it was like, what? You got a beat on Cartoon Network? Where? And then another guy who's doing movie scores and stuff like that. So I was surrounded by all these people who are being I guess blessed, quote unquote blessed, and making it. And then it's like, why is my stuff not? And I mean, I keep getting to it, but then it'll just drop off. So I really think that God put a block for me, so that He could set up my kind of like my downfall, so that I could refocus my attention and my affections, really.
That's so let's get into that a little bit. So your background, you said you had to restore your relationship with God. So does that you a pew baby?
Not exactly, but I was in church my whole life.
Okay.
So I was in church my whole life. I got saved when I was 12. So not my family, my aunt and uncle, they do run a church now, but not like I'm like a preacher's kid or something like that.
I got you. Okay. All right. There's So who would you, being in a pool of DJs? There's DJ Mike LV. There's MYK. There's so many other ones.
Yeah.
That's a big box. I don't know if you remember. Was that some years back when Lecrae started talking about the whole not a Christian rapper but a rapper who's Christian, blah blah, and then created the whole conversation about the boxes, and so being everything in life has a classification. That's the only way we can do things as human. The only thing that makes things make sense is having classifications. So being in a field where there are a large amount of other DJs and curators, matter of fact, now DJ Mike LV, he still does stuff live, right?
Yeah, he's still live. Yeah.
So the changeover from going from live to curating, what made you want to switch from doing live events and stuff and going into just curating it all? And I feel like I asked you this question already, but
we can dig in.
Yeah,
we can dig in. Yeah, so at one point I was doing both. Very early on, actually, let me not say that. It kind of transitioned because of COVID, actually, to where in January of 2020, I started working on the album, and I think my last live event was December, maybe. I think it was like a Christmas party I did for a company. So yeah, it started off I was gonna do both, but at the same time, I also had a radio show that I was doing with Holy Culture Radio, and that kind of continued into COVID. But I just lost motivation. So for me, I like to DJ. I don't love it. That's the thing.
Okay.
I don't love it, and I realized that I was doing it to serve others more so than anything else. And I think serving other people is great, but I lost like my creative ability. I felt like, and I would try to make mixes, and I felt like my last couple mixes, I felt like they were all terrible. You know what I mean? And for me, at least, when I create, I need to be inspired.
Yeah. And
at least during that time, so I might go back into, I'm thinking about going back into DJing and doing a show again, because of that service aspect. But I need to be inspired, and I wasn't inspired. So the thing that did inspire me was curating music, and that's where I find right now where I'm having my most fun. I'm doing what I love to do, and it's a service to artists. It's specifically a service to the artist. You know what I mean? Yeah. As much as I want the listener in the end to be blessed, it's more so about how can I bless this artist. So yeah. So it all kind of changed in 2020, and I'm still trying to figure it out, to be honest.
I got you. So let's talk about because I want to get into some more music. We're getting close to. We got about 15 minutes left. I'm gonna play some more music, but I really want to get into to this track. I'm looking at the track listing from Say Sora 2, and I see this one just stands out to me. Blessed, featuring JP Killed It, Mission, Say La the Corner, and Kilo. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Blessed is simple. It's simply that is that we're blessed to do this. And I wanted to do a track where at first it was supposed to focus on the West Coast artists that we have, because I felt like we don't have a whole lot of West Coast music. I feel like in CHH, right? They kind of get overlooked. So I wanted to do the more West Coast thing, but then so I had Mission, and then anytime I have an opportunity to work with Selah, I'm jumping at it.
Oh yeah,
I'm jumping at it. You know what I mean? So I kind of messed it up. I was like, you know what? Let's just get dope artists on here. And then, months later, I heard about Kilo. And I was like, yo, this dude could rap. And, it's an opportunity to have some legends on there with some newer artists, right? And JP has been out there as well in CHH. So, it was an opportunity for people to hear Kilo. And now he's taking off. You know what I mean? So yeah, blessed is just that, man. Opportunity to we're blessed to have an opportunity to do this. And even being produced by DJ Payne One, who's out here really doing his thing as well. Just an opportunity, man. It came out. Love how it came out, and would love to do more West Coast music in the end.
Got you. So y'all heard it here. Here we go. This is Blessed by DJ Lostnfound, featuring JP Killed It, Mission, Selah the Corner, and Kilo.
Yeah, I try to get right, but I got left. I've been praying up to God and I got blessed. Yeah, I'm married to the game, yeah, I'm upset. Yeah, I've been married to the game, boy, I'm upset. Yeah, I try to get right, but I got left. I've been praying up to God and I got blessed. Yeah, I'm married to the game, yeah, I'm upset. Boy, I've been married to the game and I'm upset. Yeah,
gotta put the work in. Y'all be with the ops, how you kicking it with the serpent? We ain't falling off cause we doing it with a purpose. Yeah, we had to start at the bottom, but we emerge and moving here with an urges. Look, my confession led me to an obsession. Put my feelings on the track that led me out of depression. Told them not to follow ways, how to deal with the pressure. Even if they had to stick to my ruler, they couldn't measure. Look, married to the game like we share the last name. You ain't never had to struggle, we don't share the same pain. Got my strength from the Lord, trying to get some different gains. Got respect for they hustle, we just in two different lanes. Look, Black is on the road, but we keep going on. Don't tell them how we move, they don't know what we on. If you leave it up to me, I wanna have it all. Be obsessed with the game until they made the call.
Yeah, I try to get right, but I got left. I've been praying up to God and I got blessed. Yeah, I'm married to the game, yeah, I'm upset. Yeah, I've been married to the game, boy, I'm upset. Yeah, I try to get right, but I got left. I've been praying up to God and I got blessed. Yeah, I'm married to the game, yeah, I'm upset. Boy, I've been married to the game and I'm upset. Yeah.
How many tears can a dollar fit? How many crying mothers do a dollar get? Yeah, I'm on a mission with the homie mission. Y'all can see I'm fishing in the vision, so I do it for the holler bit. Stay quiet, but the matter what I holler with. Devil hate, I'm choosing hallelujah over holler tips. People don't acknowledge it. By my estimation, I done taught so many lessons that the album is a scholarship. Real talk, I've been out of it. Y'all see the path and do everything but follow it. I was in love with the cocoa till I realized in Jehovah life is in a box of chocolates. I transformed to my optimist. All I see is bright lights through my Oculus. All y'all really getting is some compliments. Well done, the realest thing
yeah,
that
I try to get right, but I got left. I've been praying up to God and I got blessed. Yeah, I'm married to the game, yeah, I'm upset. Yeah, I've been married to the game, boy, I'm upset. Yeah, I try to get right, but I got left. I've been praying up to God and I got blessed. Yeah, I'm married to the game, yeah, I'm upset. Boy, I've been married to the game and I'm upset. Yeah.
On the same floor, we got different views. On the same path, we got different shoes. Young David in the field, seen as the underdog. One rockin' the slingshot, bet I never lose. Ancient of days in my DNA, heaven on my back, so you know I gotta lead the way. Devil on my soul, that's a no-no. Till I heard the Most High speak, now you know I gotta do what he say. Heaven is my home, that's my residence. God be so real, look at me cause I'm the evidence. Christ be the king, you ain't know cause he be excellent. I was old, but he made me new like the testament. Crazy, yeah. Covered in blood, got it out the blood. I'm a soldier in the trenches, got it out the mud. My brothers view me as the way, never losing faith. Nazarene in my blood, so
yeah,
you know
I try
I'm
to
great.
get right, but I got left. I've been praying up to God and I got blessed. Yeah, I'm married to the game, yeah, I'm upset. Yeah, I've been married to the game, boy, I'm upset. Yeah, I try to get right, but I got left. I've been praying up to God and I got blessed. Yeah, I'm married to the game, yeah, I'm upset. Boy, I've been married to the game and I'm upset. Yeah.
All right, y'all heard it here. That track is hot, dog. That track is hot. Oh my gosh. Let me, golly, man. I didn't even have my siren queued up. But if I would have had my siren queued up just then, I would have hit that mug, bro. That right there was cold. And he said the hardest lesson was what? Oh man, I just said this to Alicia a couple weeks ago. I need to start just keeping a notepad close to me and jotting stuff down when I hear it, because I get excited about something that I hear, and then I forget. By the time I get to the end of it, I forget.
Yeah. It's a lot to keep up with, bro. It's 4 different artists on there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
man, they was gassing that mark up, boy.
Yeah.
And see, I'm a fan of. I'm from the South. I'm from Mississippi. I'm a big fan of of like West Coast style music. And then
Really?
I'm also a fan of East Coast style hip hop, like New York, Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
Boom bap joints. Like, I love boom bap joints, man. But whew, they lit that up. They lit that up.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
All right, so before we went into that song, I'll fix my video feed in a second. As long as the audio's still working, we ain't complaining. But before the break, we started talking about hang on, short-term memory loss here. I felt like we was really finna.
Me too. I got the same issue.
We was really finna get into the meat and potatoes, man. All right, so, Mission. How did you manage to get that? How did you manage to get the Mission and Selah on the same track?
Yeah. So Mission, I happen to be friends with him on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
He put a post up that he was doing track or doing features.
Mm-hmm.
I reached out and made it happen. Selah is another one. Like I don't bother Selah, even though I have like his information and all that. Excuse me. But I don't bother him, man. And that's one thing I try not to bother any of these artists, right? Like you get their information and their contact information through the process of working together, but I never want to be one of these people who think that I just have the liberty to start reaching out all the time now and asking for stuff or just trying to be a friend just because we've worked together.
Yeah.
So Selah is another one who I saw a post and I was like, then I reached out. And Kello is another one where actually I knew him or let me say this. I had heard of him and I knew somebody who knew him. So I reached out to the person who knew him and was like, yo, kind of like the thing of like, yo, is this a good dude? You know what I mean? Type of thing. And then, once I got the vouch from that brother, I went ahead and reached out. But yeah, it really stems from, I wanted to do that West Coast thing. And I know Mish is, he's Bay Area. So the sound might be a little bit different, right? That was probably more Southern California.
Yeah.
But he still slid on it, right? So no complaints there. And then, this was another one that was kind of earlier on in the process of creating the album. I did want to this time have more veteran artists on there. Because you're doing a 50 artists on one album, which hasn't been done before, but I wanted to make sure that you also kind of legitimize it by getting these big names, that helps you to market it. You know what I mean? So it definitely did that, but then also just in the end of the day, we were able to make good music together. So,
that so I've heard Mission on so many different styles of dude's versatile, man. He's real versatile. I want to say, was Mission on the King Jesus joint with KB too, or was that somebody else?
On the remix, probably. I don't think so. Think so.
It was somebody from UK, I think, because they started with the whole drill beat and then.
Yeah. Who was that? Man, yeah, that was somebody. Yeah. I can't think of it now. Yeah,
that right there. So that is
SO. That was SO.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Gina asked, "What state are you in?"
I'm in Texas now, but I was in New York City.
Okay. Boy, you went from one extreme to another one, huh?
I did, man. Yeah. During COVID, man, we went from living in a 1-bedroom apartment, right? I got my wife and 2 kids. My boys are 5 and 7, and we needed more space. It was difficult being inside, and in New York City, we were inside for a year and a half. So you imagine, places like
Ooh.
Texas, people were outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People was out and went back to, almost normal life. But yeah, inside for a year and a half. Mentally, it was draining. So, for myself and my wife, we were like, yeah, we got to get out of here. We knew we kind of had like an ability to reset our lives and build it how we wanted to within in 2020. Um, and Texas just seemed, and I'm in Dallas. I'm right outside of Dallas, so Texas seemed like we're, somewhere where we both had on our hearts. You know what I mean? And we didn't know why, but even going back to 2016, me and my wife were talking about going to moving to Texas. And there's no, legit reason. It just was on both of our hearts. So, I kind of think God was preparing us for the move because we knew New York wasn't home. We just didn't know where home was. So, yeah. So we're now out in Dallas and loving it, man. Loving the transition.
That's it. I would say you almost right next door, man, because we in Hub City in Mississippi in Hattiesburg. So, I think Houston is like 7 hours from here. But when you're in New Orleans, it makes it seem like it's just across the pond a little bit. You know what I mean? So have you, as being a curator, how difficult would it be for you? Shout out to everybody in the chat too. I see y'all. Where you're at? What's up? Gina, Darrell Thomas, I see you. Shout out to my wife, of course. She got to be there.
Yeah.
Gina Livewire is a promoter because I see her in the chat.
Nice.
She's tagging people like crazy right now. But she said if you have a song to promote, she's always there.
Hit you. Okay, Gina. You can DM me.
All right, so how difficult would it be, or would you be opposed as a curator to putting on like live events, or have you? Like as far as bringing some of these artists together, how difficult would that be?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different options, right? So I have done a live event before. In 2019, I did a live event with a part of the radio show that I'm a part of, Rise Up Worldwide. We brought out Stephen Malcolm, Ruslan, and about probably like 5 other artists. The thing is, where we're in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
New York is infamous for not showing up, right? It's one of those places like Miami where you have too much to do, right? So you end up not going to these type of events and stuff, unless you're like a Lecrae, or I would say like God Over Money brings out a great crowd. But yeah, we were in New York City and it didn't work, man. As far as the event itself was immaculate. It was great. The venue to the artists, it went great. But from a financial aspect, I'm just gonna say I lost on that, right?
Okay.
Money wise.
Yeah.
So the question is it a good expense? Like, is it good financial? And would it make sense? And is there a way to, get a kickback? So here, maybe in Dallas, because, people, from what I hear, Dallas is, and I haven't done a show in Dallas yet, but people are, more likely to come out here in Dallas because it's kind of like the hub of CHH, either Dallas or Houston, Atlanta. Those are like the major cities for it. So it's a possibility. Definitely is a possibility. The thing that would really cost is getting the artists together.
Yeah.
Right?
I can imagine.
I got to pay for flights, hotels, food, travel, right? So does it make sense in the end? Or do we just kind of wait for maybe like a festival to happen? And if these artists are already on the bill, that way I don't have to pay, but that way, if I can make my way onto the bill, we can get these artists together and get these songs performed. So yeah, it really would have to, it makes sense from a financial aspect. But then again, you got Lecrae out here talking about, he's losing money on his performances.
Yeah.
So
I saw that.
Might just be a part of the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a I'm gonna shout out something that I've heard other pastors and stuff say too about church people, and I don't know why it is that we can host an event for the community, and people who aren't churched show up, they show up heavy, but then you do something that's for church people, for the body, and nobody shows up, or if they do show up and you tell them, oh, it's $10 at the door, and they looking at you sideways, but then they'll spend what was it, $700 on a Beyonce concert ticket. That was just nuts. Hey. That was nuts, man. She was breaking up.
You gonna take this somewhere else? Yeah.
She was breaking up households, boy. People trying to get to that concert, but anyway.
I'm glad I ain't gotta worry about that. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So when when putting on events and stuff, and this is from us too, who have hosted events and stuff and hosted ticketed events. There's a lot of expense that comes from it. I don't know why church people feel like you don't supposed to pay for anything or we ain't supposed to charge you nothing because Jesus pays our bills, but Jesus don't pay our bills. Okay, the work pays the bills. And it's having a servant's heart, because I've heard you say that a couple of times. It's part of ministry is being able to serve other people, and to you do what you can to push somebody else's ministry out there. That also means that you can't have pride. When you're trying to do something like that, you can't have pride at all, because when you do have pride, it blocks a lot of things. It's doors that can open that won't open because you're so focused on the one thing. You're so focused on my name, my this, my that. And I don't think I've heard you really at all say anything about you as far as it pertains to these songs and as far as being, being a curator, being a DJ. But I've heard that it's mostly about, like Gina said, washing each other's feet. You washing other people's feet, and really pushing their ministries out there. And like I said, we need more of that in this particular genre because people don't feel like CHH even has a place in the church. There's like I said, I'm from the South, in the Bible Belt, and especially in the Bible Belt, you hear a lot of, this ain't holy, you bringing the world into the church, blah, blah, and all that. So there has to be a culture shift that takes place. And, you're a part of that culture shift. You're a part of getting that. So when we talk about, have you ever done any, like when you do events, what type of, being a Christian, and when you did DJ events, how do you, like, what type of music did you have? A standard of type of music that you would play, or was it based on what they wanted?
So yeah, I definitely, especially DJing, right? So if I was doing my church, right, like a church event, and we're ministering outside, easy, nobody's gonna bother me. I play. They're expecting all Christian music, right? Then if you go to, let's say, a school, you're not really playing Christian music, but you're playing clean music, right? And my standard has always been, even when I'm playing in front of, unbelievers, I'm playing clean music, but even if the song got cuss words, I don't even want to play that. Like, even if you bleep it out, because the intent is still there, for me. So that's my personal thing. But yeah, when I would do like corporate parties, stuff like that, you're talking about adults, or I never did a Sweet 16 or with teenagers. Those are the hardest things. Like, I couldn't imagine playing for teens. Like, what do you play? Oh, I would have no idea what to play, because the stuff that they're going to listen to and going to respond to is the exact stuff that I'm trying to stay away from. Right. So unless you have some parents who are stepping in and they want a specific standard for the music, it's going to be difficult. But like I said, corporate parties, that was hard in a sense because I definitely had like in my last event. I had like the I guess like the CEO or something like that come up to me and request a song, and it was a Lizzo track, right? I don't listen to Lizzo
I'm
like
finna
that, but
roll
I
my
kind of
eyes.
knew the song, and I was like, and I played the song, and I was like, oh nah, it's cussing. The content was terrible, but I was like, man, I want to turn this off, but it was a request, so it's kind of like, do you take a request from the person who's paying you,
Mm-hmm.
or do you be like, nah, I'm not playing that? And so I played it, but I definitely was like, yo, that wasn't cool. And I don't like requests anyway because when you're a DJ, you're setting the mood, you're setting the atmosphere, right? You're
Absolutely.
playing. You have a certain way that you're playing records, and you can break that up by somebody requesting a record, right? And it just shifts everything that you've been doing and setting up. So yeah, it's yeah, I definitely had a standard, but depending on the atmosphere that you're in, if you're at a wedding,
Mm-hmm.
thank God the weddings I've been a part of, I didn't have anybody really coming up and asking for, anything crazy to be played, because that's something I wouldn't do. But being put on the spot, man, you're really you're not your salvation, but your gall. Like, what are you actually going to do when stuff hits the fan?
Yeah.
You get tested.
Mm. That's um, hmm. Yeah. I get like that too. Um, I've only played music at a few events, and uh, don't clown me because I know how real DJs feel about laptop DJs.
I'm a laptop DJ. No,
Okay,
don't worry about it.
okay. But I had to do an event once before, and like people was asking for stuff that I didn't have and didn't have access to. This was obviously before live stream, before
On
music
streaming
streams.
services,
Yeah, before
right?
streams was a thing. And I just tell them flat out, like, I ain't got that. And they like, oh, why you don't have that? Everybody listen to that. Nah, let me stop you. Everybody don't listen to that. And I even saw Reconcile. Shout out to Reconcile. I saw him.
Yeah.
He's got a new project. Um,
Yeah.
Also, but the way he advertised it, he was like, I saw his. I think it was TikTok when I saw it on, and he said, whatever happened to like love songs, because everything now is, this whole psychotic, stay with me or I'll kill you and your girlfriend, or I heard something like that yesterday. I was like, man, this is terrible.
Yeah.
And then or it's all about nasty, vulgar stuff. Nothing promotes any positivity in a world that we live in, that there's no positive anything going on. No positive message. You can't even hardly watch TV now. With the messages and things, and I'll just leave it at that are being pushed on people and all of that. So when you have a project that is all encouragement, it's all uplifting, it's all positive, some of these people who aren't churched, some of these people who are in the secular realm, like I do Uber from time to time too, and I always have CHH playing, or like your Walls group, stuff like that. Or
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting a little scared of what's his name?
Maverick City.
I don't even listen to Maverick City anymore. That's washed to me. But that's my own standard. You know what I mean? Like my thing is, that's what I was gonna ask you. So I'm gonna get off of that, but before we get on to something else that we probably shouldn't get into. So how do you feel about Christian artists who remix secular songs?
For me, I think I don't have an issue with it at all, personally.
Okay.
Everything boils down to intent.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is your own, personal convictions anyway. So for me, it's whatever. I'm actually working on a mixtape right now where we're using secular beats for the most part. Most of them are secular beats. So yeah, I guess I'm good with it. I think the thing that we're going to be judged by is the motives in our heart, right? So I'm not worried about, if the beat was secular, it's a Cameron beat or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think beats are inherently, evil, personally. I know, then you can get into the stuff of people praying over beats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother conversation. If you have knowledge that that actually happened, then maybe you feel differently, or I feel differently. But if I have no knowledge going in, right now I'm good with it. But at the same time, I'm flexible and I change. You know what I mean? If someone shows me something in scripture that shows me that I'm wrong in my thinking,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'll switch it up because that's what's paramount. So
That's a good statement or a good way to put that. Not that the music isn't inherently evil; it's the product or what the person puts on it. Yes, people pray over stuff too. Yes, they make their sacrifices and different things like that. Now, me personally, I don't do them myself. And I get a little skittish when it comes to like somebody send one for us to put on radio, but I only get that way because we don't want to get into a legal issue. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if somebody, paid for the rights to even be able to use that particular joint. You know what I mean? So when it comes to like our radio platform, we won't put it on the radio platform if it's a known remix, especially. Just because of the legal ramifications that could come from it. We don't want to be inadvertently targeted because corporate music industry, you can't survive a lawsuit. There's just no way. They take everything you
that's
got.
a whole different monster.
Yeah, they take everything.
It's a whole different monster,
everything you and your great grandchildren got.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
All right. So all right. Let me get into this to this next one. I love exclusive joints and unreleased music.
Yes, sir.
So I got this one. I'm gonna ask you how you want to do it. Should I play first and then we talk about it, or do you want to set it up?
I'll set it up.
Okay.
Yeah. So you do have this exclusive joint called "Beautiful."
Mm-hmm.
It is featuring Frankie Bells, and Jared Sanders, who most of us will know. Frankie Bells is more R&B type guy and artist, and kind of unknown, but so soulful, bro. So soulful. So yeah, this song is basically, it's about God restoring a man's marriage, and this guy just being really thankful for that restoration. And then in there as well, you're hearing him, speak about his wife and being thankful for his wife as well. So beautiful, DJ Lostnfound, beautiful, featuring Jared Sanders and Frankie Bells, man.
All right, y'all. So here we go. Let's get into it. Well, when I click play anyway.
Right.
Some good days, some bad. Every battle fought. I'm so glad you taught us how to trust you more. 'Cause I'm tired of my scars. Yeah, and I'm praying I can't fall apart. And I know I'm not the only one. The only one. trust. I be thinking them less. You be thinking of love, and I be under the rest. Money looking a little too bummy for the stretch, but it's two sides to it like it says. On the A side, I'm winning. I'm a little trite, but the bay find me tempting. Body kinda nice, and the waistline is thinning. Pray time we get it and stay fine as tickets. I don't wanna give it a subpar performance. John Q, baby, the love heart's enormous. All true lady is dumb, smart, and gorgeous. Promise, homie, the rock threw me the rock. I dunked hard as Jordan, but you the real MVP. On the rail in the field, it was MBD. For me to chill with a shorty in the MGD. Kept a 40 for the boys trying to envy me. Saw the best in me, and I'm thinking it's all destiny.
And I know I'm not the only one. The only one. I've got issues with my trust. You've been consistent with us. I'm forgiving and I'm loved. I love. You give me your love. And I'm all and I fall and I'm yours. Oh, yours. Because as I'm more than I'm offering, I'm yours. Oh, yours. I know what I need. Know you've got me, yeah, right beside me. You are so beautiful. Know what I need. Know you've got me, yeah, right beside me. You are so beautiful.
A Must Be Heard radio exclusive.
Look, in the midst of the struggle, hard days, and it made me do some things that'll get me in trouble. Seem like everybody else is above you. Probably couldn't see good, bad sight. I'm seeing problems in double. Every other person saying they love you, but every time I'm reaching out, seem like they all put their problems above me. Now I'm thinking all I need was a huddle. Long nights, many tears, all I seen was a puddle. But I'm saying I'ma do this till my last days. I'm getting it in. I'ma get it bad work and I'ma get it again. Get another bad work and I'ma get it again. Gotta keep working just to make sure all my family can win. I be moving at my own pace, making steps to progression in my own race. Look to God and I'm praying more for better days. Even better, I've been praying more for better ways. For better ways. I've come back home where I belong. The way I was living, you came with your embrace. I've come back home where I belong. Back to your kingdom, back to a better place. Dreaming big when I can't sleep. Dreaming nice on
Welcome back. That that right there you just heard. Oh, look at that. It froze again. That was Shy Moya and his soon to be released. As a matter of fact, I think it released yesterday. Called Prodigal Son. That beautiful track, man. So it was special, man. It's special. That one was smooth. Real smooth.
Thank you for the summertime, man. Yep.
Yeah, you sure said it. That's it. That's the summertime track. So is the whole album like, you know, when's the release date?
Way too early. I don't even know. I have no idea.
I was going to say, or do you have a release date? Are you releasing singles before?
So I'm gonna release singles beforehand. The album is nowhere near done.
Okay.
So Beautiful. I'm not even gonna guarantee that it's gonna be on the album. You know what I mean, it might just be a single. And I don't even know exactly when I'm gonna drop it. So
okay.
It should be coming this summer, but I'm starting to like test the waters with like sending it out. So yeah, you're the first person who's heard it in CHH media. So that your fans are the first people to get it. And I kind of just want to get reactions and then I'll figure out when I want to drop it from there.
Well, I'm finna tell you right now, they going crazy in the chat about that song, bro. My wife said it's a great vibe to the song. Frankie Bells, man, is, if you don't know who Frankie Bells is, man, you definitely got to look up more of his music because dude is cold, man.
Yeah.
He the truth.
Underrated, man.
Yeah, very much so. I would underrate him along with you heard of Chris Cobbins.
Yeah.
Chris Cobbins hadn't put out a project in a while, and he was on his live stream one day. I was sitting in the car wash, and I saw he went live. So I try to keep up with people. I'm nowhere near as good at keeping up with people as Mr. KS himself. Shout out to my boy Alicio Torres.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah, man. Alicio be on everybody's stuff, and then he'll hit me up and be like, "Man, have you heard of this artist? Have you heard of this artist?" I'm like, "No, man. Where you be coming from with all these people? Nobody supports like he does."
Absolutely. Shout out to Alicio, man.
Yeah. But I would definitely encourage y'all to I know he I don't know if Frankie Bell's got projects on streaming platforms or not. I think he does.
He has a couple singles, but you can always look at the songs that he's featured on and have more to listen to. Yeah.
Yeah, he cold, man. I got another one. I believe. Nope. Well, I got another one with Frankie Bell's on it, but I got this Sunshine joint that I wanted to. This one was first project, right?
So Sunshine was released last month, in March, I believe. Yeah,
March 23rd. Is that what I read?
17th, 23rd, somewhere around there.
Look at Stephon White. Stephon White. I'm sure you know who that is. He said, "Play that joint, man."
Yeah. Yep. I do.
Steve Rizzo, man, and Mike Teasy and MC NICE, man. Now this one, I played this one last week, and I was, man, blown away. Steve Rizzo is another one, really good singer, man. You got a star-studded cast, bro.
Yeah, this song, man. Stevie is somebody who I'm blessed to be able to work with, right? I knew I wanted him on my last album. It was just a matter of finding the right song. And then once we gelled and I kind of figured out how he worked, bro, he's amazing. Like, I don't even have to say nothing to that man. I just send him the production and he'll send me back a crazy hook. More often than not, and like even this one, there was just a little he probably heard like the what is it, the little sample, the vocal sample that's in the production, and came from there with the hook. But yeah, Stevie Rizzo, man, he's a monster in the game. He's growing like crazy. If you haven't seen on social media, I can speak to the organic growth that he has. Like I've never had a post where I think we partnered on a post and it's like 1,000 people liking and stuff and commenting. Yet like it's still I'm getting people liking and commenting and stuff. Is like, yo, this is wild, and it's not fake. You know what I mean? So yeah, he I'm happy for him, happy for TZ, who's in the same position. Really did a great job with marketing himself and getting out there. And then MC Nice, man. MC Nice is low key. I feel like he's one of the most slept on business folks that we have in CHH. Where this dude worked with Pop, or after his death, but worked with Nas, worked with Prince. Like, who else got that resume in CHH?
Nobody.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I wanted to work with him and just to show him some love. I actually wanted him on the album, but the track that I wanted him on didn't end up working out. So he's one of the people I was like, yo, let me go ahead and hit MC Nice for this, for this Sunshine track. You know what I mean?
Okay. So I'm gonna hit play on that, and when we come back, we're gonna talk some more with DJ Lostnfound about working with producers and how you can connect with him on social media platforms, all of the above, and we'll round out the show from there. All right. So this is Sunshine by featuring Stevie Rizzo, Mike Teasy, and MC Nice.
Shine down on us, free me from the dark. May your sun fight for us. It's already done, Lord. I know who you are, creator. Oh, so let your sun shine. Let your sun shine. Let your sun shine. Light the world, Father. We need your guidance. Let it all shine. Let your sun shine. So let your sun shine. Light the world, Father. We need your guidance. Let it all.
Light it up, I'm trying to see just where I'm going. Lord, I need your guidance. Without you, I just be roaming. Searching for a signal, I can't find it though. That's why every step that I take, I need you to shine up on. Yo, hey. Light up my pathway, make my path straight. Gotta make sure I'm in your will, cause these are the last days. I was walking in the dark like where the light go. Now every step I take is lit like Michael. They think it's diamonds on me cause you shining on me. Ain't no VVS is on my neck. If they see I'm glowing, I already know to give credit to you cause that's who I reflect. Ain't got a fret, you paid on my debt. Better wake up if you dreaming. I never knew I was walking my clueless, but now I'm in light and I'm gleaming.
Shine down on us, free me from the dark. May your sun fight for us. It's already done, Lord. I know who you are, creator. Oh, so let your sun shine. Let your sun shine. Let your sun shine. Light the world, Father. We need your guidance. Let it all shine. Let your sun shine. So let your sun shine. Light the world, Father. We need your guidance. Let it all.
Changing my tendencies and my frequency to free me from my enemy. Had the propensity to match density, asked the Father to send me. The enemy was given the living me, the will to be, but not to be, so I can be, driven from grace, but I chose to be the light you see. Righteously through poverty, full of purpose to God and me. Broke the surface to rise and be. Honestly, pride will make you feel away on the inside. Running from truth, trying to get away. That water life is a prosper life. The moment you seek, you conquer strife. Along with the meek, you let the fight. And save the weak from the devil's plague. That shine down is a line down. When it climb up, you'll find ground. When the time's up and you wind down, triple crown, Motown.
Shine down on us, free me from the dark. May your sun fight for us. It's already done, Lord. I know who you are, creator. Oh, so let your sun shine. Let your sun shine. Let your sun shine. Light the world, Father. We need your guidance. Let it all shine. Let your sun shine. So let your sun shine. Light the world, Father. We need your guidance. Let it all.
Hold on, that's it right there. That's the Sunshine joint. That's by DJ Lostnfound featuring Stevie Rizzo, Mike Teasy, and MC Nice. Mike Teasy's Greenhouse Project, man. Cold.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
Yeah.
Start to finish, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to him for that. This a good project. So, how do you navigate finding producers?
So depends on. I do a lot of searching. I do a lot of searching on IG, and that's usually for if I'm looking for like a Christian producer. We're all kind of like you can search, the CHH hashtag. Most of us use that, and that's kind of how I find different producers. So Kardak was kind of somebody who I knew I'd want to work with. I've loved a lot of his production over the years, and he's a 3-time Dove winner. Like, I mean, like you can't go wrong. Right. So I definitely wanted to work with him. I got an opportunity to kind of like comb through some beats that he had, and I found that, and I'm like, yo, like you shop this to Reach and they ain't pick it up. Like you shop this, and no offense to Reach, right? But I know he has access to all these different like big name artists, and I was like, yo, this is a easy single right here. You know what I mean? So I copped the beat. Maybe God was just holding it for me. I don't know. Maybe. I copped the production, and we got to work from there. I usually work through IG and something, trying to kind of like to search through different producers in CHH. But even now, like at this point, I'm kind of going outside of CHH, and working with secular producers. Um, and really, at this point, it's really about finding the right sound that I want to use.
Yeah.
Because and I don't want to bash CHH, but I do feel like when it comes to production, sometimes we don't take chances. Where I feel like outside of the space, people are more likely to take chances. And I really want to hear that from our producers, where we're taking more chances and sounding less like the sounds of today, I guess, or like the trap sound and all that, and going back to more conventional hip hop.
Yeah.
That's kind of because that's the route that I'm going personally. I want that timeless hip hop sound for my records.
I think I think overall there is a, if you pay attention to music at all, you'll notice the trends as they come. Really good engineers and producers and curators and DJs and all of the above can figure out where the next trend is going to be before it gets there. So then it's the whole Richard Smallwood syndrome or Kirk Franklin syndrome, where you find an artist that's already into the next phase, but for everybody that's still stuck in this dimension, it's not canon to them. It's not good. And I can reference that to now I haven't put out music in a while. It's been a couple years. But I can reference that to some of like even my older stuff. And I feel like that's a gift that God gave me to be able to hear what's next before the next comes. And then that means it makes it uncomfortable. So I made a song that was in this wave 2 waves ago. Submitted it to somebody and they were like, no, this isn't good. The timing's off, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you sure about that? Because, being a musician and you hear things. I played drums. Been playing drums since I was 4. So when you understand cadences, the concept of playing drums is as long as you come back on the 1, you good. Everything else you do in between there, it doesn't matter, because as long as you come back on the 1, you're fine, right? So it's kind of similar to that, and it was ahead of the curve. And then when I was told it was bad, I just held on to it. I was like, I'm gonna sit on it. Let's see what happens. And lo and behold, guess who starts doing that? So then I start hearing people doing it, and I'm like, had the chance, and that was it. So being able to hear like the potential in an artist, and highlighting that potential from particular songs, and song selections. I'm sure since you come through Instagram doing research to find producers, you probably have a ton of tracks laying around that you have to comb through. How do you figure out, like I know earlier in the interview we talked about this, but I want to kind of dig into it a little bit more. How do you figure out like what exactly is going to fit to an artist? Do you listen to the beat first and then you find the artist, or do you already have in your mind when you hear a specific track the artist that's going to be there, or that artist that fits?
I start with production first. And it really depends on, am I working on a single? Am I working on, a project? So when it comes to a project, I start with production. My last album, I would say 80% of the production already, in my possession. And then I made like a playlist of how I wanted the album to flow. So that's kind of like where I start, and then I'll start reaching out to artists from there. Because for me, maybe it's from being a producer, but I think production for me is the foundation. There are artists who I'll have in my mind, I'm like, yo, I would love to work with this person. But then I have to start looking for production to match that person. And that for me is very frustrating, because then I feel like I'm not finding nothing. Right.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd rather start with production, and then where it falls, it falls. It seems like other people may have other ways of doing it. Because there's artists who will hit me up and they want to work, and I'll be like, yo, I would love to work, but I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not just gonna throw you on the track just because you're my boy.
Yeah.
Right. That doesn't happen. I'm gonna find the right artist who fits, and you know, if I'm doing like a mixtape or something like that, I could take more liberties with that. But for me, it got to be the production there, and you have to be able to fit on the song. I have people who will hit me up and be like, they're a singer, and be like, yo, but I can rap on this song too, and it's like, but I haven't heard nothing that you rap. But you know, like I haven't seen where that's a strength of yours, right? So I'm supposed to just go with it just because you want to do it. So you know, that type of thing. But yeah, I start with production, and from there I'll work with the artist depending on what they sound like, the sound that I'm going for, you know, the direction I'm going for. You know, maybe I'll get a big name artist and then put a lesser known artist on as well to help push the song or even push that artist forward. But yeah, for me, more than likely, it's going to start with production. I don't think I've ever gone out and been like, yeah, let me start with the artist first and then go find production.
Got you. Man, people trying to get out of their box, man. Just be okay with staying in your box.
Stay in your box, or if you wanna go outside of it, have demos ready to send it to people like me and be like, yo, I rap. Here's a song that I never put out, and then let me judge from there. Right? You can't be you do Latin worship and be like, yo, I want to do, but I could do rap too. Where? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, that happens. Yeah,
track record is everything, man. That's like going into a job with no work experience at all and saying, oh, I want to be the treasurer of the company, but you got no work experience proven to show that you know how to even count money. So like, and pulling a couple dollars and some change out of your pocket and counting it on the table doesn't account for all the thousands of things that you have to do when it comes to treasury and accounting. Yeah. So
and you might be overlooking what you're actually head and shoulders above, better than other people.
Yeah.
Don't overlook that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a scripture that comes to mind. Walk therefore in the vocation wherewith you were called. That's one of my one of my go-tos. In other words, the job that you're good at, that you were assigned to do that. And when you it's okay to not be able to wear 20,000 hats. It's okay to outsource, as you know, as I'm sure a key takeaway from this interview has been just that. Don't be afraid to outsource. Don't be afraid to pay people, to do what you need to get done. Don't be afraid to do research, to figure out who can benefit the most or who can help you benefit the most from what you're trying to do. And that's in anything, not just in music. There are people who have businesses, people who have goals and different things that you want to accomplish, but sometimes you have to partner your vision with somebody else's, you have to partner with somebody else in order to achieve your vision. There it is. So,
absolutely.
So what is your, if you had to give advice to a upcoming artist on getting placements and whether it's on projects or getting people to collaborate and all that kind of stuff, how would you what advice would you give on something like that?
So I mean, specific to me, I would say is patience. Have patience. I actually take a while to reach out to people. Like, I may be interested in reaching out to you for months before I actually do. Right. And for example, like on my last project, there was somebody who I was, I had a track that was coming together. Some people who kind of didn't do what they said they were going to do. Mm-hmm. So I had to find somebody else for the track. And I had somebody who kind of went off on me because I guess they expected to be on the album. And when it didn't happen in their time frame, they kind of caught feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So little did they know, the day that they went off of me, I was going to reach out to them for a verse.
Oh, that's crazy.
So they lost that opportunity, right? And for me, like I said, it's patience, man. You know what I mean? If I give you my word that we're gonna work, we're gonna work. But there are so many other things that go into what I do as far as reaching out. Also, I pay everybody, right? So I might not have the money to pay you yet,
Right.
and that's why I haven't reached out. You know what I mean? So I'm not one of these people who I'm gonna rely on our friendship and be like, hey, we're friends, therefore you should do it for me for free. If you offer to do it for free, great. We'll put that in marketing or artwork or something like that. But yeah, for me it's patience. Have patience, because you never know, when you can lose an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because you didn't show that patience. So.
That right there sounds like something that my pastor was just preaching about Tuesday. Shout out to Pastor McNair, Pastor Larry McNair, Higher Dimensions Harvest Temple. He was just talking about how so he is 27 years old. He was given access to 57 acres of land.
Wow.
And we never knew how it came about. He only talked about, him being, he was 26 when he got it. He was, so he only talked about that part. But Tuesday he was talking about how it came to be in the first place, and how it ended up being a blessing. So it's this another pastor that he knows. The pastor told him, he had some land, and he told him if he can find somebody to buy the land, he'll give him 20 grand. And, so he was like reaching out to people, and he had folks trying to get it. It was people going to the bank and and trying to get the land. There's like 4 or 5 different entities that were trying to get it, whether it was churches or business people, and the deals kept falling through. For some reason, it just wouldn't work out. And he said he was praying and he was asking God, man, why is it that I can't get this done? Like, and God told him, you're trying to give away something that I'm trying to give you. And so he was like, you looking at the little small 20 grand, and I'm trying to bless you with the whole 57. So when he understood that, he understood what the assignment was. He went to the bank. The bank wrote the check for him the same day. Who has favor like that? For 57 acres of land, wrote the check for him. And so, to make a long story short, he said what he realized was we can mess up our own blessing. And I was just why I said I'm glad you said that, because we can mess up our own blessing by trying to do too much instead of trying to understand what it is that God is trying to do. Whether God is trying to bless you through somebody else, with somebody else, whatever the case may be, or with something else. When you get focused on I just got to get this opportunity, I just got to get out here, I got to do this, you taking too long, blah blah, and not waiting for the opportunity for the person to even reach out to you. Like he said, he was going to reach out to the guy the same day, but he copped the attitude, so that he killed his own blessing because he was trying to get something that he already had, but didn't want to have patience enough to sit down and sit still and wait. And that's the hardest thing for people to do when it comes to the things of God. It's hard for folks to just sit and wait. Like, you pray for it and you believe that God will give it to you, but then you can't wait for it. So you start going to do stuff on your own. Now the blessing that you were supposed to have turns out to be a curse because you forced it to happen instead of just waiting for God to do it. So when God does stuff, he does it in absolution. There's no questions asked after he does it. And there's no way that you can possibly give anybody else the credit or the glory, just him. Okay, so Frankie Bells,
Absolutely,
what's up? Frankie
Hello, Frankie
popped in here, man.
What up, bro? What's goody, bro?
I tagged him.
They might have heard the track before him.
Right. I tagged him. I tagged him in that way. He missed it.
Yeah, he hasn't heard the final yet. It's not. He hasn't heard the final yet. Yeah, I went through a whole bunch of different engineers, so it's been a while since I reached out. Yeah,
Oh,
probably
gotcha.
went through like 5 different engineers. Yeah,
Oh, whew. So
yeah, yeah.
wait, why so many? They just wasn't getting it, huh?
You know,
Or time
every
frame?
so every engineer, like I said, every engineer has a different style, right? And it needs for me the track didn't feel, I didn't feel comfortable with the track yet,
Okay.
right? Like you might get a part of, a portion of it, right? Maybe the vocals, right, or something like that, but the 808s was hitting, the kick was hitting crazy, and it lost the feel,
Mm.
right? So I'm big on feel, right? If the song doesn't feel right, I'm not putting it out. Because I've done it before, and then I'm upset, with the final product.
Yeah.
So now I got it to the point where I feel comfortable with the mix. I feel comfortable with the master, and now we can start to release it. Well, not
Five.
release it, but put it out there. Yeah, whatever.
5 engineers. Now I bet that was expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The way you hang your
But
head
the
when this.
the investment is worth it, right? Because I believe in this track, right? I believe in Beautiful so much where it's worth the investment.
Yeah.
I don't want to do throwaways. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I feel like I have done in the past where I wasn't completely happy with a mix and be like, you know what? Who's gonna know, right? But people do know.
Yeah.
Those who have the ear, to hear, that's scripture. But those who have the ear to hear it, they hear it, right? And then on my end, I already know, like, man, I'm not. I know I'm not happy with it completely. And especially for a single, I need to be happy with it
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be pushing this thing for a while. So, yeah.
That so we got about 12 minutes left, and I will continue to talk all day long, but we got busy stuff to do. Everybody's got stuff to do. It's Saturday. Want to kick it with your family, all of the above. So how can artists and listeners connect with you?
Yeah, you can search me on all social media platforms at DJ Lostnfound. It's the same everywhere. But then also you can connect with me on my website, djlostnfound.com. So DJ Lost, the letter N found.com. And I'm actually trying to push everything toward the website because as we saw with like TikTok, it could be gone tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what was going on in the world. So I'm trying to push everything to the website. But yeah, DJ Lost and Found everywhere.
Fantastic. All right. Are there any particular artists that you have in mind that you haven't worked with yet, but you want to work with? And I'll say it like would be a dream to work with these artists.
Yeah, so I think the absolute dream, my favorite artist, Sade.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite artist, all time favorite artist. Would be a dream to work with. I have no idea what I can offer her. Absolutely, you know what I mean? Or even the band itself.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I can offer. But it would be a dream just to be in the room while they're creating. So for sure, Sade. And then from there, I would say on the CHH side, Star Ringo. He's another dude who I've wanted to work with for a minute. I think he's super talented. And another one, don't get talked about. But he's one of the most talented artists out there, out there in our space. And it seems like now that he's kind of going more mainstream. But God can use him anywhere. So yeah, Star Ringo. I'm trying to think. I mean, everybody wants a Cray.
Yeah.
What's called feature. Just trying to think off the top of my head. Yeah, I'm not sure. So Star Ringo is definitely one though.
Star Ringo was mainstream before he switched over to CHH. And then he started working with Aha Gazelle.
Yep.
Yep. I think Aha is kind of seems to be a little more mainstream now. But I could be wrong. I know he was signed with Reach at one point, and then after that interview he did, and he was talking about he used some words that they didn't approve of. We'll just leave it at that. And you know, shortly after that, you know, they dropped him or whatever, and I think he kind of rebelled as far as music is concerned. But then him and Star Ringo released that project, and I like the whole project, honestly. I still don't know how to feel about Foggy Raw yet, though.
I'm trying to get me in trouble. Okay.
I still don't know how to feel. But he's talented in it of itself. But you know, going back and looking through his catalog, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to like. I want to listen to more music, but I don't at the same time. So that's just me though. That's just me.
I mean, so I'll say this for my music, I do have a standard of not cussing, right? Yeah. I don't think it's appropriate, but even going past cussing is inappropriate talk whatsoever, right? I don't want any of that on my music, right? So there's songs that I've ran it past my wife, and she's like, "Nah, that can't come out," you know. Even though the meaning would be to bless Christian marriages, you know what I mean? But she was like, "Nah, you can't put that out. Too racy." You know what I mean? So I have stuff like that where it's like, okay. But then, you know, yeah, like you're saying, you know, with Foggy, I don't know. For me personally, I don't think cussing is you know, something we should do in our music. Yeah. He is seeing success.
That's kind of the reason why I don't really want to listen to a lot of his, you know what I mean? Like, I hear some of the features he does, and I think the features are cool. But like, I think I tried to listen to one of his songs, and when I saw explicit on there, I was like, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's the cussing, and then the content as well. Sometimes the content to me is a little bit questionable. I don't know him personally. I've heard great things about him as, you know, a person and as a Christian, but I don't know him personally, so I don't you know, judge in that manner. And then even with my own stuff, man, I had an artist who cussed in a song, and I had to go back to him and be like, yo, I can't do that. Like, I got a personal, you know, conviction with that, so I'm gonna need you to re-record it. You know what I mean? There it is. But you have those uncomfortable conversations because things happen. Everybody has different, you know, personal convictions. I think this one goes a little bit further than personal conviction.
Yeah.
I think there's precedent set in scripture. But at the same time, I'm also not I'm not the judge and jury, I guess you could say.
Yeah, we agree on that part. But I've been cutting up lately about and I'm mad that my TikTok algorithm now shows me a lot of this. These preachers and folks is just wilding out in the pulpit and saying all kind of crazy stuff, and like and trying to be deep, and especially the one used the S word up there and then told them to stop the music, and he's like, I rebuke that cringe. And I'm like, I rebuke you, fool, get out of here. Like, how you gonna tell me how to feel about you doing some profane stuff in the pulpit, bro? Like, so like, I wouldn't be able to stick around in a place like that, nor would I be able to as a you know, as a radio platform, as a follower of Jesus Christ and his standards, because you know, Peter was cussing, and he told Peter, hey, clean that up. You know what I mean? So you know, if Jesus' standard for that wasn't that it wasn't okay using profanity, I just, again, let me just stay away.
You ain't doing it.
Yeah, you do what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, every man work out his own soul salvation with fear and trembling. If it's not your conviction, it's not your conviction. And I can't make mine.
If it's not your conviction, and if it's in scripture and it's not your conviction, there might be an issue there.
Yeah.
Might be an issue there.
So. Let's not. Come on, man. You gonna start something in a minute. You gonna start something. All right, man. We got 5 minutes left. All right, real quick, shout outs.
Wow, wasn't expecting that. You know what? I'm gonna shout out CHH Media because I feel like we don't get shout outs enough. Shout out to Rise Up Worldwide, the podcast I'm a part of. Alicio Torres, man, he has probably set this up,
Yeah,
man,
he
and
connected the
opened
dots.
up some doors. Exactly. Shout out to him. Shout out to Track Stars. Shout out to That's Not Christian Podcast. You know what I mean? Mr. Rel, Big Swiss, all the Holy Culture. You know what I mean? There's so many people out that I could name. And that's kind of like the folks that I hang around with
Okay.
is CHH Media. So we don't get enough shout outs. So I just want to make sure we shout out them out today.
Fantastic. All right, bro. Well, I gotta end my show. I gotta end it though the same way that I always started. Y'all didn't get to hear the prayer, but the Lord is faithful because what needed to be done was accomplished. Okay, a few hiccups from here and there, but that's part of it's part of technology. It does what it wants. But I appreciate you taking time out of your Saturday morning and popping in here. And real quick, I need to collect a audio sample. So you gonna do me a drop real quick? This is something simple. You know, it's DJ Lostnfound. You tuned into the Must Be Heard Radio Network.
Yo, this is DJ Lostnfound. You tuned into the Must Be Heard. You said right?
Yeah, Must Be Heard Radio Network.
All right.
Or Must Be Heard Radio.
Yo, this
show.
is DJ. All right, this is DJ Lostnfound, and you're tuned right here. The Must Be Heard Radio Show. Check it out.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Look, when I do that on my own, it'd be taking forever, bro. So I'm glad I got it on too, because we've been here for 15 minutes.
Man, look, I get like that when I'm in here just recording audio samples and stuff, and I'm like, I really don't like this. But if I'm not anywhere near where my mic and my setup is, I can spit these things out with no problem. Hey, yo, this is DJ Jet Black, and you tune in to the Must Be Heard Radio Show. Keep it locked. I can do that all day, man, but when it's not convenient. But then I got my DAW pulled up. I got my little music playing in the background, trying to record commercials and stuff like that, and it doesn't work out. But man, look, I appreciate you again. You want to do the honor of praying us away, man?
Yeah, absolutely. Lord, we thank you for this time, this period to get together. Everybody who has heard today, I pray that they have come away encouraged, learning something today. And even today, even myself, Lord, I pray that I will continue to stay in this place of being humble, and never overlooking interviews. Lord, as you continue to progress all of us, this radio station, Lord, Must Be Heard, Lord, I pray that you would keep our hearts, Lord, and so that we don't turn away from you. Let us keep the main thing being the main thing, and that is salvation to those who don't know you. So we pray for those who may have tuned in and may have found their way here who don't know you, Lord. Work in their hearts, Lord. Mold their hearts, Lord, for them to be receptive to the gospel, Lord. So I just pray that even us believers, Lord, we would stay receptive to the gospel. We need it on a daily basis as well, Lord. So mold our hearts, Lord. Work on our hearts, Lord, so that we may be receptive to you. So we thank you for all that you're doing in our lives, all that we're going to do today, Lord. We thank you for what you've done in the future, or for what you've done in the past, what you've done today, and in the future. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, y'all. I appreciate you all taking time to hang out with us. Shout out to everybody who came into the chat today. Gina, my wife, Frankie Bells. Shout out to Alicio, who wasn't on the live stream. I'm gonna call you out too. But he was doing. I'm sure he was up to. He was doing working something. Yeah, he's probably doing content for Cruising with KS today. Because I think he had mentioned there was a car show or something today. So. Most of the time, if he's not around, that's usually what he's doing is working on content for Cruising with KS. And of course, Orlando Page, shout out to the whole CHH community, everybody who tunes in and supports the Must Be Heard Radio Network and DJ Lostnfound. Remember that you can connect with him at djlostnfound.com. That's DJ lostnfound.com. And of course, don't forget about the Must Be Heard radio show. Must Be Heard, mustbemerch.com to check out our collection of amazing products, whether it's a shirt, a hat, a backpack, a exclusive Must Be Heard mug. That it's like a Yeti thing. They're really nice though.
Yeah, those are nice. Yeah. Love.
And be on the lookout for the announcement for the new product line, Infinite Grace. So we'll start pre-orders here soon. But I'll make the post today, sometime or another. Be the first one to pre-order that thing, because when you see it, you're gonna be like, "Whoa, I really like this." So, you got anything else?
Be blessed. Check out. Be with your family today, man. You know what I mean?
All right, I'm gonna end the show on this new release from Iceberg 5. Well, it's not released yet, so I got another exclusive.
Exclusive?
Yeah. By Iceberg 517. You heard of him?
No, but I'm about to listen.
Yeah, boy, this one's cold too. All right. You have been locked in with us on the Must Be Heard radio show with DJ Lostnfound. Thank you again. Like, subscribe, share, all of the above. Turn on post notifications, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.
And now, a Must Be Heard radio exclusive.
Glow. 517. New P's in the game, but they never worry me. With Christ as my Abba, he's the real MVP. Charged up, I'm on go like Energizer batteries. If you think I'm righteous, you have every reason follow he. Yeah, they call me Ice B. Flip the iceberg overseas. For the ones who judging me, souls are more than what you see. My God will lead you like them lines, middle of the street. You think your way is better, at the end we gon' see. Hey, on site with my GI bros, I will never sell my soul. I light it though, that kingdom glow. Aiming for the sky, whoa. I would never go back, gotta stay on my path. Tell him I stay in my bag. Got this drip from my dad, glow all over my body. You feel it, Mike Jag. Motivation for you, who can't find the right path. I would never go back, gotta stay on my path. Tell him I stay in my bag. Got this drip from my dad, glow all over my body. You feel it, Mike Jag. Motivation for you, who can't find the right path. Glow, 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 glow. Don't just 9 to 5, don't just borrow time. Still trying to get better, so I stay on my grind. Make a circle bind with the same minds. Then fast forward, tomorrow press rewind. Kingdom builder, that's how you build a screw loose. And you gotta drill it, yeah, my music a giant killer. Destructo this, just like I'm Krillin. If you don't understand the lifestyle that we live in, then you trippin'. So much better on this other side, we reborn, yeah, we winning. On site with my GI bros, I will never sell my soul. I light it though, that kingdom glow. Aiming for the sky, whoa. I would never go back, gotta stay on my path. Tell him I stay in my bag. Got this drip from my dad, glow all over my body. You feel it, Mike Jag. Motivation for you, who can't find the right path. I would never go back, gotta stay on my path. Tell him I stay in my bag. Got this drip from my dad, glow all over my body. You feel it, Mike Jag. Motivation for you, who can't find the right path. Glow, 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 glow.
Must Be Heard Radio, the best mix on the planet, 24 hours a day. Keep it locked. MustBeHeardRadio.com.